The time by Sagicor is
7 o'clock.
CVM News at 7 Tuesday, brought to you by KFC.
50 years of finger licking good memories, yeah.
Tonight in CVM News at 7, 11-year-old boy swept away by flood waters. Auditor General reports fragmented social benefit programs. New tech park signals industrial boost for Spanish Town. For Tech Pulse, clean energy and climate tech innovation. In the business report, JCC Awards 2025, inspiring entrepreneurship. While in sports, Reggae Boys face Panama in key Gold Cup clash. From Kingston, Jamaica, this is CVM News at 7. It's Tuesday, June 24, 2025. I'm Nika Lewis. Thanks so much for joining us. A desperate search is underway in a Westmoreland community where an 11-year-old boy who was on his way home from school was swept away by floodwaters. As rescue teams race against time, the stillness in the small community is almost unbearable. Our reporter Akeem Oret has the details.
White House Westmoreland is holding its breath, praying for a miracle as the search continues for 11-year-old Desroy Smith, a New Hope primary student who was swept away by raging flood waters Monday afternoon. The grade 5 student was heading home from school, something he had done safely every day. But Monday was different. Heavy rains had drenched the community for hours, and sometime after 3, Desroy and his schoolmates were walking near a swollen culvert when tragedy struck. He reportedly lost his balance and fell into the fast-moving waters. Since then, the Jamaica Defense Force and residents have been searching relentlessly, combing the shoreline and nearby waters for any sign of the young boy. Eastern Westmoreland caretaker Dr. Dayton Campbell, who has been assisting on the ground, describes the incident as heart-wrenching.
The search teams are still out trying to locate him. And I know it's an absolute difficult time for his father, Desroy Smith, and his mother, Hopal Greenfield.
He calls on the public to join the search or provide any support they can.
We urge members of the community to assist, members of the JCF, and we want to commend those who have been out there assisting in the process and encourage them to continue to search for young Desroy Smith.
And as for the school family, Dr. Campbell is encouraging them to remain optimistic.
We want to say to the school family, the classmates who may be traumatized, that they're to keep heart while we hope for the best outcome.
Meanwhile, Desroy's family remains shattered. As night falls again, the search presses on. But in this small town, these waves now carry more than just water. They carry the powers of a community still hoping. Akeem Art, CVM News.
Meanwhile, a deadly road crash in Westmoreland last night along the Belmont Main Road has left one man dead and a couple in hospital with serious injuries. The deceased has been identified as 40-year-old Melvin Getters, a fisherman from White House in the parish. Reports are that at around 9:45, Getters was driving a Nissan Tida from Savlamar toward White House when he reportedly lost control of the vehicle. The car veered into the path of an oncoming Honda CR-V, resulting in a violent collision. Getters died on the scene from extensive injuries, while the driver of the CR-V and his wife were reportedly rushed to hospital in serious condition. It is alleged that the couple was also robbed of a large sum of money and several bottles of cologne that were inside their vehicle at the time of the crash. The Bluefields police are now probing the incident as investigations continue. The Factories Corporation of Jamaica, FCJ, has completed Phase 1 of the Garmex Free Zone Redevelopment and Expansion Project. The $1.3 billion project was fully funded by the FCJ. Akeem Art has more.
Garmex Free Zone is one of the most in-demand locations for commercial activity. The new development is said to be generating more than $3 million per annum in revenue.
126,000 square feet of space comprising 31 units, 3 warehouses, 6 mixed-use units, and 22 mini warehouses for micro, small and medium-sized businesses.
Prime Minister Andrew Holness says these revenues will be reinvested to facilitate the other stages of expansion.
In just over 2 years since the new facilities became operational, they have generated more than $340 million in rental income. These revenues will be reinvested to finance additional phases of expansion.
With Phase 1 being completed, there are already plans for Phase 2 to be done by August and 3 by September.
Today's ribbon cutting marks not only the formal opening of Phase 1, but the launching pad for Phases 2 and 3, which together will represent nearly 500,000 square feet of new commercial and industrial space. Phase 2, at an estimated cost of $3.2 billion, will feature a new Marcus Garvey Drive entrance, a new headquarters for the FCJ.
A report from the Auditor General has revealed that the Kingston and St. Andrew Municipal Corporation, KSAMC, is behind on its submission of financial statements. Kingston's mayor and chairman for the council, Andrew Swaby, has engaged the services of an external auditing firm to update the corporation's financial records. Here's Danila McLaughlin with the details.
A recent Auditor General report reveals that the Kingston and St. Andrew Municipal Corporation, KSAMC, has not been submitting financial statements since 2016, a situation which has prompted the Mayor, Andrew Swaby, to engage an external auditing firm. As he says, the corporation is committed to maintaining transparency.
The KSAMC has not provided an audit financial statement since 2016, and the Auditor General, that has been mentioned in the Auditor General before, the KSAMC has been before the PAC and had made certain commitments and have not fulfilled those commitments.
The KSAMC has since signed a 2-year contract with an external auditing company to update the corporation's financial statements. It was revealed the KSAMC owes the NWC millions in unpaid water bills, while the mayor recently highlighted non-payment of outstanding advertising fees by some media houses. He says an independent auditing firm will play a key role in maintaining the corporation's finances.
What I've done now is that I have sought the services of Mundell Assurance. This is an outside financial firm that do these type of things, and they have a 2-year contract with us. They have provided their staff in-house at the KSAMC now, and they will be bringing us up to date on the financial statement. I've also asked the KSAMC Oversight Committee to oversee this process for me.
The Auditor General's report also reveals other municipal corporations behind in audited financial statements. Danila McLaughlin for CVM News.
We take a break. Stay with us.
It's just joy and niceness whenever we get together. And that smile on your face is something to treasure.
Grateful that
any special moments, I'm the one that you always chosen.
Thank you, Jamaica, for 50 years of finger-licking good memories. KFC, it's finger-licking good.
At Flow, we understand your rhythm. That's why we're dedicated to building a network as resilient as you. With a team of familiar faces working every day to keep you on beat. You're at the heart of everything we do. And our commitment is to keep your rhythm flowing, no matter what.
The future belongs to the bold, to those ready to realign with purpose and prosperity. Realign 2025 connects Africa and the Caribbean, where innovation meets investment. Featuring Senator the Honorable Audrey Marks, Nigerian Ambassador Janet Olisa, David Mullings, Anthony Hilton, and Christopher Denny. For SMEs, funding partnerships and global market entry. June 25 at the Jamaica Pegasus Hotel. Realign with your destiny. Register now at entropartners.com/re-align.
Thanks so much for staying with us. In this CVM News update, Wisynco has been acquitted of charges it breached the Wildlife Protection Act. The matter, which was brought to a close on Monday, would have been a year old in October. Colin Brown sought further clarity from the Director of Public Prosecutions, DPP, Paula Llewellyn.
So it's case closed.
Case closed. Let us leave it at that.
The conclusion to a case first brought before the St. Catherine Parish Court in October 2024 against Wisynco Limited regarding the alleged breach of Section 11 of the Wildlife Protection Act. The charge resulted from a matter which surfaced when the National Environment and Planning Agency, NEPA, responded to reports of a pipeline leakage into the Rio Cobre, also in St. Catherine, and the discovery of dead fish on the bank of the river. A disparity arose after a review leading to the conclusion by the Office of the Director of Public Prosecution the Crown did not have a viable case. The Act states, notwithstanding anything to the contrary, every person who causes or knowingly permits to flow or puts or knowingly permits to be put, whether directly or indirectly, into any harbour, river, stream, canal, lagoon or estuary containing fish, any trade effluent or industrial waste or sewage or noxious or polluting matter shall be guilty of an offence against this section and shall, upon conviction before a parish judge, be liable to a fine not exceeding $100,000 or to imprisonment for a term not exceeding 2 years or both such fine and imprisonment.
In terms of our review, we found that no samples of water had been taken by NEPA from the river beneath where the fluid had been seen gushing into the river from the pipeline which went from Wisynco on one side of the river to the other side of the river. So we were not in a position to prove that this was trade effluent or industrial waste or sewage or noxious or polluting matter.
Bluntly put, the substance was not scientifically identified as a matter of law, as a substance capable or falling within the definition of those listed under the Act. Additionally, the NEPA officers admitting to forming a view the company was unaware the pipeline was leaking fluid into the river. The DPP further explains the prosecution was not in a position to evidentially prove the character and nature.
You can't make assumptions, you can't use suspicion, and you can't speculate. That is way below the standard required to prove a case.
The DPP stresses this is a teachable moment for all.
Because guess what? It is in the public interest that there is robust adherence to the laws when it comes to making sure that we don't have these environmental breaches. And if you have environmental breaches, that there is accountability. Accountability through the courts, or it helps to
Curlin Brown, CVM News.
A wage dispute between the Jamaica Confederation of Trade Unions, JCTU, and the Ministry of Finance continues to unfold. Finance Minister Favour Williams recently announced salary increases for public sector workers. But JCTU President St. Patrice Ennis says the minister has misrepresented the facts. Here's more from Curlin Brown.
Finance Minister Favour Williams announced public sector workers could expect an average increase of 7.5% through the payment of up to 3 increments this fiscal year. The minister says the payments agreed with the Jamaica Confederation of Trade Unions, the JCTU, represent a significant shift from previous policy. But in response to CVM News, JCTU President St. Patrice Ennis dismisses the minister's claims, arguing the payments are neither new nor the results of recent negotiations.
It is our position that the minister misspoke. The minister is conflating the issues because the payment of increment now is not a new benefit. This is a payment for a delayed entitlement. Specifically, it is payment for increment in the years 2022 to 2023, 2023 to 2024, 2024 to 2025.
Mr. Ennis says the decision to restore the increments was made under former Finance Minister Dr. Nigel Clark, and the current payments should not be misrepresented as a recent victory or new agreement.
Therefore, it cannot be viewed as a response to the JCTU claim for improvement in salaries for the years 25 to 26 and for the period 26 to 27. As those are for years going forward, and the payment of increment is for retrospective years. Also, the payment of increment for those retrospective years would not address persons who just came on into the service now, as they would not be getting any salary increase, or for persons who the government deemed to be using the nomenclature casual and who did not rest against a post. Those workers, or for workers who are in a new ministry, the Ministry of Legal and Constitutional Affairs. And so it would not address those individuals or those persons.
The union maintains its members remain frustrated by the lack of formal dialogue and stands by its demand for an urgent ministerial meeting before June 25. It's still unclear whether the latest developments will ease the growing tension or escalate the standoff.
CVM News at 7 continues in a moment.
It's just joy and niceness whenever we get together. And that smile on your face is something to treasure.
Grateful that in these special moments, I'm the one that you always chosen.
Thank you, Jamaica, for 50 years of finger-licking good memories. KFC, it's finger-licking good.
Join my private room. Only $1,000 for a grand time.
That I know me. We never said that. But who going to believe me?
That is correct. $4,350,000. Yes, go ahead. $4 million? I never approved that.
Yes, me go doctor tomorrow. So me have to get the money today, no longer. Then no me face that. I never make no record, I beg nobody no money.
Deepfakes are AI-generated images and videos made to look and sound like people we know and trust. They're used to spread misinformation, destroy reputations, and are used to commit fraud and scams. Don't fall victim to deepfakes. Protect yourself. For more information, visit broadcastingcommission.org or scan the QR code on screen.
Thanks so much for staying with us. The Realignment Business and Investment Conference continues to leave its mark on Jamaica's entrepreneurial landscape, according to Chairman and CEO of Entrepreneurial Partners Limited, Garfield Daly. The CVM Sunrise guest this morning notes the conference goes beyond presentations and the initiative has been helping to shape the mindset and strategy of future business leaders across the island.
We find that the response has been in 2023 and going into 2024, boy, I felt like giving up, but now I am motivated to, then we are now motivated to continue, because every one of our presenters come with a different perspective.
Right. Yes.
And the different perspectives relate to individuals in different areas and arenas. And so we know that everybody's story will impact somebody else.
Yes.
And so it is something that, although it takes a whole lot, we can't stop.
Yes.
Because
Can't stop now.
It can't stop now.
And another
it is
one.
impacting the entrepreneurs, and it is bringing out what is actually inside.
President-elect of the Jamaica Teachers Association, Mark Malava, believes more attention needs to be given to students as they transition into secondary schools. Speaking on CVM's lead story, Malava expressed the quality of students entering secondary school after completing the primary exit profile PEP does not align with the data being reported.
What we are discovering when we do our own diagnostic tests, there is a disconnect between what the data from the ministry that the ministry sends and the data that we find when we administer the diagnostic test. We are finding a huge disconnect with that, and as such, many schools have to now plan accordingly based on the data that they have and not necessarily the ministry's data. Let's face it. Those schools, based on the PEP results, the cream goes to certain schools.
And they'll be fine. They'll be fine. You don't need to worry about them. Yes.
And they'll be fine. But there's a huge chunk of students that are not where they ought to be, that requires necessary intervention, that requires necessary attention, that requires necessary resources that many schools just don't have.
Gone are the days when tech was only reserved for people who were acutely aware of binary and computer coding, highly skilled or trained at an advanced level. These are the times when tech is impacting just about everything, including climate, energy, and human existence. Tech Pulse dives deeper into clean tech and climate innovation, taking the world by storm. Welcome to Tech Pulse. This week we look at the future through clean lenses around climate and technological fusions, or clean tech as it's commonly referred to. But before that, we can talk about the flood of tech and gadgets that were on display, showing national might and stealth by the Jamaica Constabulary Force in the recent Transformation Expo in Kingston, Jamaica. So, salute to the force for good. And so what's clean tech really? Well, clean technology, often shortened to clean tech, refers to products, services, and processes designed to reduce or eliminate negative environmental impacts. This includes reducing emissions, waste, and the use of natural resources while promoting sustainability. Clean tech encompasses a broad range of technologies and practices across various sectors like renewable energy, green transportation, and waste management. Here are some clean tech gadgets and innovations transforming and healing the world, literally. First up, the Roborock Crevo Master. It's a smart robot vacuum and mop. Now, this high-tech cleaning robot features AI-enhanced mapping, edge cleaning, voice control, and a self-cleaning dock. It's designed to reduce manual labor and water waste while keeping your home spotless.
The Roborock Crevo Master Robot Vacuum and Mop offers an exceptional clean with 10,000 pascals of suction, dual spinning mops, and flexi-arm technology for edge and corner coverage. Its advanced multifunctional dock features self-emptying, mop washing, and 113-degree Fahrenheit warm air drying, providing a truly hands-free and pet-friendly cleaning experience.
You might also find the solar-powered smart chargers eco-friendly.
Solar-powered smart chargers use sunlight to charge your devices anytime outdoors. They combine eco-friendly energy with smart features to optimize charging speed. These chargers are portable, durable, and perfect for travelers and outdoor enthusiasts. They help reduce reliance on electricity and fossil fuels for everyday device charging. Some models include wireless charging pads and multiple USB ports. They automatically adjust charging based on sunlight intensity and device needs. Using solar energy lowers carbon emissions and saves money on power bills. These chargers are a great step towards sustainable gadget use. With solar smart chargers, you harness natural energy smartly and efficiently.
Of course, Tech Pulse gives you more. So if you have a clean tech idea or product and want support, we have just the plug for you. Meet Carlington Burrell, CEO of the Climate Caribbean Innovation Center, CCIC. He'll tell you how their latest initiative for clean tech in the region, Scale It Up Accelerator, works.
So to Scale It Up, we're looking to get these entities to come into this program to really tap into the investment, because there's more and more investment that is now available to these entrepreneurs. And what we're going to find is that at the end of the program, we're going to have our demo day. And on demo day, they'll be able to pitch in front of investors. Pitch to these investors to pretty much help them to get the necessary investment needed to really scale. And what we're going to do, you're going to look at either one or two entities so that they can explore the European market, and they will be incubated with one of our companies there to understand the market and how they can learn from that and bring some of those initiatives back to Jamaica.
Deadline is June 30, 2025, so get on with it. And remember, you saw it here first on Tech Pulse. The future is now. Do stay with us. There's more after this break.
It's just joy and niceness whenever we get together. And that smile on your face is something to treasure.
Grateful that in these special moments, I'm the one that you always chosen.
Thank you, Jamaica, for 50 years of finger-licking good memories. KFC, it's finger-licking good.
Yeah.
The internationally acclaimed On Stage with Winfred Williams.
At a new time, Saturdays at 8 p.m. on CVM TV.
So much more than entertainment.
Come rise with sunrise. It's such a mighty takeover. Our first stop is Wednesday service. Then it's time for liftoff with an aviation summer camp. We'll pause for some body art and we'll wrap the fun with WAGs, brought to you by TruePet. Why Not Wednesday is brought to you by Flow.
the internationally acclaimed On Stage with Winfred Williams.
At a new time, Saturdays at 8 p.m. on CVM TV.
So much more than entertainment.
The future belongs to the bold, to those ready to realign with purpose and prosperity. Realign 2025 connects Africa and the Caribbean, where innovation meets investment. Featuring Senator the Honorable Audrey Marks, Nigerian Ambassador Janet Olisa, David Mullings, Anthony Hilton, and Christopher Denny. For SMEs, funding partnerships and global market entry. June 25 at the Jamaica Pegasus Hotel. Realign with your destiny. Register now at entropartners.com/re-align.
50 years of finger-licking good memories, yeah.
The time by KFC is
7:30.
I'm not here to take someone's place. I am Ganga, and I have my own identity. Radhika needs you now. Please sit with her and go assure her that no matter what happens, you will never leave her side.
Handling the accounts of this is my responsibility. I will find out why this money is unaccounted for.
You have one night to make sure that you carry out your duties properly, Shiv, because from tomorrow, you will no longer have a role to play here.
No one is allowed to touch Parvati's things no matter what. No one at all. Least of all you.
Ganga.
Brought to you by
Hyundai or Hyundai.
Let's delve deep into the issues. We'll take you beneath the surface.
Greetings and salutations. My name is Orville Higgins and it's another edition of Fan Central.
Talking to the people at the heart of the top sporting stories. Hear from your favorite sportsmen and women and the administrators who work tirelessly to make it all happen. It's live sports talk.
I've written an entire article.
Yes. Looking at all the major issues every Tuesday at 9 p.m. It's Fan Central.
Welcome back, and we also welcome Jordan Fort in studio for a quick look at what's happening in the world of sports.
Well, what's been dominating the local landscape, obviously, is the 4 athletes from Jamaica who have decided that they want to switch allegiance to Turkey. Now, on the back of that news, Sports Minister Olivia Grange announced in Parliament today that there will be a national retention and support strategy for athletes that the government is now trying to put a framework in place for. We'll also be talking about the Reggae Boys, who are currently in action against Panama. Not looking good right now, I can tell you that, as just the icebreaker. And we're talking about the West Indies men's team. They begin their first test against Australia tomorrow. Some interesting choices and some debutants as well. I'll tell you more in sports.
I'm excited to see, because I want to know what you think about sports when we get there. But for now, it's the Business Report with Joel Crosskill.
Lots to share with you in the Business Report today. For 40 years, the JCC Awards have signposted the evolution of Jamaican enterprises, ranging from daring startups to major corporations. 2025's event marked a historic milestone in honouring the pacesetters and dynamic disruptors, helping to elevate Jamaica's economic standing and encourage a brighter future. President of the Jamaica Chamber of Commerce, Philip Ramson, highlighted the dynamics that contributed to the selection of this year's theme, shaping the future, driving productivity, championing equity, inspiring entrepreneurship.
We gather to acknowledge and celebrate the achievements of our peers over the past year. Individuals and companies who have not merely survived a challenging domestic and international environment, but have met and in many cases exceeded their own expectations. It is only right and proper that we pause to recognize them and encourage them to achieve even greater outcomes in the years ahead. Our theme for this evening is Shaping the Future, driving productivity, championing equity, and inspiring entrepreneurship. This theme reflects a continuous growth outlook that acknowledges the changing landscape of Jamaican businesses and outlines a vision for growth that is inclusive, strategic, and future-ready. It is a theme that echoes our mandate to not only celebrate achievement, but also challenge the business community to think differently about how we grow, how we pursue, share, and sustain that growth. We must bear in mind, however, that while our country enjoys record low unemployment, a relatively stable inflation, and strong international reserves, the growth of GDP that should naturally flow has eluded us.
The JCC president spoke of the challenges that migration of potential entrepreneurial talent has had on Jamaica's ability to thrive, juxtaposed against Jamaican potential to enter new frontiers within international trade.
Even as we celebrate our progress, we must recognize the persistent issues that we have in our market. The migration of skilled labor is a real and pressing challenge, and it is inextricably linked to productivity, and to our collective ability to deliver a better standard of living for all Jamaicans. We must ramp up our efforts to identify new markets, new suppliers, and new pathways of growth. This latest shock to the system only reinforces the need to diversify, something we have long spoken about. Is there more that we can be doing to enter markets like Central and South America, like Africa or Asia? The answer is yes, and we must act deliberately, collectively, and strategically.
It's a call that resonated with guest speaker Senator Ambassador Audrey Marks, whose own entrepreneurial journey closely mirrors the trend as a pioneer in the early days of digital payments.
Almost 30 years ago, when the internet was becoming commercial, and I thought of the idea that no matter where you are in Jamaica, you should be able to pay a bill. You don't have to travel 30 miles to the nearest supermarket or the nearest commercial center. You don't have to find the JPS offices. You can go into your supermarket or your gas station. At that time, many persons thought I wasn't quite all right. And today we take it for granted. And that's the power of entrepreneurship.
As well as the power of its recognition, when done well, to inspire not just peers, but aspirants to the calling as well.
We all can agree that there's something extraordinary about the Jamaican spirit. We're innovators by nature. From music to our food, from logistics to fintech, we have shown time and time again that we are creators. But there needs to be developed locally a culture that celebrates and encourages young innovators to start. And if you fail, to continue. And you can fail again, and we'll still be here to support you. And that has been a mantra for me. For tonight's honorees, you are not just recipients of awards. You are examples of what is possible. You remind us that success is not reserved for the few, but available to all who dare to dream, work, and lead. Your achievements speak not only to your personal ambition, but to national transformation. You are the ones shaping the future through productivity, equity, and entrepreneurship.
Among the most anticipated accolades of the evening were the Best of Chamber Awards, which spotlight excellence across 5 enterprise tiers. This year's winners stood out for their impressive growth, operational innovation, and contributions to both local and regional markets. With 5-star quality and Justice Associates named Best of Chamber Micro Enterprise, while Charles O'Connor Consulting Network Limited took the top spot in the Small Enterprise category. The Medium Enterprise Award went to Bioregeneration Integrated Medical Center Limited, with GK General Insurance and Scotiabank Jamaica earning top honours in the large and extra large enterprises categories respectively.